This past weekend, FNS number 190 went down in Montreal, Canada, and it basically served as a pre-local for a much larger C-tier tournament named Super Elite Monthly Series 12 Forma de Leo Feat H-Box. Quite a mouthful. Either way, while I will likely cover that tournament in more depth sometime later this week, what I wanted to mention today is the pre-local, the aforementioned FNS 190. Because at this tournament, attended by many of the top seeds of this Super Elite Monthly, something insane happened. MkLeo had to face a specific player in Grand Finals. A player of a character that no one even thinks about anymore, much less plays. But this set would go down in a way that no one could have predicted. This is the one and only Remrin, the best Mewtwo in the world. And this is the story of her battle with MkLeo. Just a reminder before we begin that if you want to support me monetarily, you can do so by using the links to my Patreon or channel memberships in the description below. With that out of the way, let's get started by talking about the GOAT himself, MkLeo. By the way, it's important to remember that this tournament, despite everything, is still a local. That means that people are going secondaries and somewhat fooling around at times. MkLeo, for his part, went solo Rob, just like he did at La Posada del Huatique 2023. Remrin, for her part, went a number of secondaries throughout the bracket, though I think the only one with real merit in larger tournaments is her secondary Wario. Either way, MkLeo came into the event as the clear first seed, and I'm not kidding when I tell you that literally every single set that MkLeo played was put on stream. I mean, I get it, but it's still funny. MkLeo started off the weekend by sweeping his way into top 8, getting wins over Rob main Chuppy 2-0, Olimar main J Pick in another 2-0, and lastly Captain Falcon main Elote in one final 2-0 set victory to make it into top 8. But here's where we actually have to pivot gears and talk about Remrin a little bit. I know this video is already super weird, but bear with me. Remrin is a Canadian native who I actually called the best Mewtwo in the world in my series of shorts where I go over the best player of every character in Smash. Mewtwo actually has some decent competition, like fellow Canadian Grade and Anvil from Norway. But I gave the edge to Remrin, naming her as the best Mewtwo somewhat controversially. But tell me, dear viewers, do you remember the last time I made a slightly controversial choice regarding who I named as the best player of a certain character? Because I do. It was when I called Rarukun the best Luigi in the world, mere months before his run to second place at a super major. So, you know, a good sign for Remrin, who came into the tournament as the 4th seed. She started off the weekend by defeating Conker and Zerk, both in 2-0 victories, not having the privilege of having every set streamed like Leo did. This meant that Remrin moved into winners quarterfinals and went up versus a strong Ike main named Babino. I've actually mentioned Babino on the channel before in my video about upsets at LMBM 2024. Babino had defeated No Tag for an upset factor of 3, if you don't remember. Either way, this set would end up being interesting. Remrin started off in Mewtwo vs Ike, which she ended up losing. Down 1-0 in a BO3 set, she made the interesting swap to Roy, considered by many of Ike's top reps to be one of, if not his worst matchup. In this bad matchup, Remrin would win, tying the set at 1-1. But then, Babino pulled a Remrin and counterpicked off their main and onto Roy. So now we've got a Roy Ditto for the final game of the set. And ultimately, Babino would win this game 3, with Remrin losing the set 2-1. Yeah, Remrin was in losers before top 8 even started. But wait, I'm not done. Because Smash Bros, as it always does, hinges on the small things. That's because Babino moved up into top 8 winners side versus MkLeo. That's right, if Remrin had won this set versus Babino, she would have had to fight MkLeo earlier on in bracket, which would have given him experience in the matchup, both against Mewtwo and against Remrin as a player. If Remrin had fought MkLeo in winners semis first instead of meeting him in grands, this tournament may have gone very differently. How so? Well, who's to say? I mean, after all, we are speaking purely in hypotheticals. I just think this set is a fascinating example of how, a lot of the time, history will turn on small coincidences, posing 1,000 what-ifs for the rest of time. And perhaps Remrin losing early on was the best thing that could have happened for her bracket path. But who really knows? Either way, MkLeo would go on to defeat Babino 3-1, moving into winners finals versus Z, a Diddy Kong main. MkLeo would end up winning this set in yet another 3-1 victory, moving into grand finals from winner's side and sitting there very comfortably. Leo probably expected Z or perhaps Babino to be the one to make it into grands from loser's side to face him again, but that wouldn't be the case. This brings us back to the heroine of today's video, Remrin. Now in loser's bracket, Remrin first defeated Tarla 2-0 to make it into top 8, where the rest of her sets would all be BO5. From here, Remrin first defeated Handball Nat, who's a Rob main, 3-0, potentially giving her a crucial warm-up in the matchup. Remrin was now put on stream once again, her first time on it since her loss to Babino. This time, she was up in losers quarterfinals against a Mario main named Maple. Here, interestingly enough, Remrin would strictly use the secondary Wario that I mentioned earlier on in the video, using that Wario to defeat Maple in a 3-1 set and move on into loser semifinals. And who would Remrin face here? Well, it turns out that Babino, the Ike main from before, had won their set versus Whipped Cream 3-1 on the other side of bracket in losers quarters, and thus moved into losers semifinals. This meant that it was time for the rematch between Remrin and Babino, and there would be no secondary shenanigans with a Roy Ditto this time. No. This time it was all business, with Remrin going solo Mewtwo. And it paid off, with Remrin winning the runback in a solid 3-0 to get her revenge on Babino and move on into losers finals versus Z, the Diddy Kong. Now, the two of them would actually get into a bit of a counterpick war, with Z going a mix of Diddy Kong and Cloud, and with Remrin going a mix of Wario and Mewtwo. But ultimately, Remrin's Wario dealt the final blow to Z, allowing her to move into grand finals from loser's side to face off versus MkLeo and his robotic menace. This was it. All the marbles, all the buildup for this one set. Without further ado, let's not waste any more time and get right into it.
Chat gambling away, thinking, putting money on MkLeo. MkLeo about to get that kill. Guys over the subscription, thank you. With the side B on the side, crazy gyro combo, ending it with a classic Robs. Drive down there into up smash, not working out, being punished by MkLeo with the straight up forwards there. 140 to 100. A strong hit from any character. Oh, that might be the game with the up throw, kill throw. Almost barely taking that game. MkLeo going that game, trying to use her tail to advantage. Up smash, not making it the kill. Up air, getting him off stage. Can he get a punish? Can she get an edge guard? Not allowing him to get back on stage. Reacting to that normal kill percent. Can MkLeo clutch this out, or will Remrin continue her run? Down tilt. These percents are racking up. 4 till actually closing out the game. She gets. There's a large deficit. 100% difference here. Back throw doing quite some bit damage. Okay. Getting the side B into confusion to close out that stock. Remrin clutching it and having the drag down, up smash, not landing through. Couple down airs. Not being able to punish without. Okay. Nice back air. Reverses the shadow ball into a jump back here. The tone for tomorrow's event. Don't forget we have a monthly tomorrow where MkLeo will participate once again. If Remrin takes this game, this will be huge. Gets the stun. Nice. Fully charged. Knows her timing. Able to fully charge that into forward smash. It's best. Right now Remrin is feeling herself. She knows she can do this. Getting percentage. Nice conversion. Another nair. 50. And he gets killed off the side. Remrin takes set 1.
And just like that, Remrin had accomplished the seemingly impossible. Not only did she take MkLeo to Game 5, not only did she beat MkLeo in that Game 5, not only did Remrin reverse 3-0 MkLeo, and not only did she 3-stock him in Game 5, but she utilized one of Mewtwo's most unknown techs in order to do so. Many of you probably just watched the end of that Game 5 and thought to yourself, wait, what the heck just happened? MkLeo died at like 40. Did he DI that nair super badly or something? Well, no. I'd be willing to bet that the vast majority of you don't know about this, but this is actually a super specific tech that Mewtwo has versus Rob specifically. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but according to my understanding, if Mewtwo hits Rob with a Nair, and Rob gets hit by that Nair against a wall specifically, that's by ledge, then Rob will go flying. And to my understanding, will die at nearly any percent. Yes, this only works in Mewtwo versus Rob. Also, St. Louis Mewtwo main Tim Prater did some labbing and found out that, indeed, this is possible on every single legal stage in the game. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This was just Grands. There was still the Grands reset. How would that go? Let's get back into it and find out.
Dang, at almost 20. That was a 3-stock from Remren. Insane. 1,800 people viewing this, seeing the end of Smash. Remren right now down a bit, but not to worry. Double forward air. Hitting that tail. It's very, Fusion plays that, clutches out the win. She can still get game 1. This would mess up MkLeo's game very heavily, get into his head. However, this might be it. Down throw instead of up throw, still gets the up air to close out game 1. Second bracket of this game 2. Doing some gyro combos. Will he continue? Side B off the ledge. That's going to be a kill. A classy cheese with crazy combo from Rob. The Nair with the gyro into the side B. It's deadly. He's got the nice tech from MkLeo. Air dodges. That will cost you the game, however. MkLeo off to an early lead. Will that kill? Another kill, barely hitting him in it. That's dragged down, not able to kill. Remren's gonna have to figure something out. A lot of damages is racking up. That MkLeo down throw up air to close out the bracket 3-0. MkLeo, the Grand Finals champion of Montreal Gaming Centers Weekly.
Now, unfortunately for us, MkLeo activated the clutch gene and 3-0'd Remren in the reset, winning the tournament as the 1st seed and eliminating Remren at 2nd place as the 4th seed. But this tournament ended up being larger than that. This is the emergence of a new best Mewtwo in the world. Mewtwo is one of, if not the least played character in Smash Ultimate. I think StartGG data actually has Mewtwo as the character with the least amount of mains in the entire game, but that data may be outdated now. Still, this isn't like Goryoka, where he mains Joker but will use Mewtwo every once in a while. No. This is a full-fledged Mewtwo main, taking a set off of the GOAT of Smash Ultimate. There is no other Mewtwo player in Smash Ultimate history that could have aspired to that level of win. Like I said in my short series, Remren is the best Mewtwo player in the world, and her rise will only continue from here. That's going to be it for today's video. Before I go, shout out to my patrons Seth Laster, Frosco233, Logan S, Persipom, Wawa, Mr. Sinister, and my 2 patrons Iltis and Diamond Blaze. Additionally, shout out my YouTube members Stormtrooper, Loco Soco, Diarrhea, DJ Jr., Defective, Fan of, Boston R, Iltis, and my 2 members Mike G and Wu-Tang Forever. Lastly, extra special thanks to my tier 3 patrons Ocean Man, who says RisterMice is sorry for playing Min Min, and MistyBot, who says, in my opinion, Me Gunner is high tier. If you want to support me using any of these methods, links are in the description below. Don't miss tomorrow's upload, but until then, I've been RisterMice, and thank you all so very much for watching.